Good morning. Today I want to share with you two things that are happening simultaneously. I want to share with you a great book that I'm reading called Mastery by George Leonard, and a new swimming class that I've started just today, which is called Total Immersion, which you may have heard of because it's like a very famous system. So what is the connection between the two things? The book, which I highly recommend, again, it's called Mastery by George Leonard, explains why is it so difficult for us to master new skills and new abilities and new behaviors. And he talks about the path of learning and the path of the master, the journey, which is ironically the name of this playlist, which is a never-ending process of improvement. But here is the revelation that I liked so far, and I'm only in the 5th chapter of the book, so it's maybe a little premature to discuss it. But this is what I liked. It's called the learning curve or the mastery curve, and it goes like this. You learn a new skill, whether it's a physical or a mental ability. So you start usually with a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, and also there's a learning spurt because you knew zero and now you know something. So you're excited, you're climbing up, and there's a lot of exhilaration, and then inevitably there is a drop. The drop comes because it takes time to really implement and absorb any new behavior, skill, habit, whatever. And we expect from ourselves, through the pressures of society, to excel at everything very fast. But our body, our mind, they take time, they take repetition, they take a lot of practice to really absorb and learn something. So we have a mental feeling of a lapse, like we go back down. And then there's a plateau. It's like an EKG. It's like you go up, a little bit down, and then there's a plateau. And the plateau is where you practice, you implement the new skill, and once you achieve a certain level of proficiency, you experience another learning spurt, and so on, and it's an endless process. Problem is, the plateau is very difficult for us because it feels like we're going nowhere. It feels like treading water. The irony is that there is actually learning happening during the practice, but it's in small increments and we don't feel the spurt. And that's where most people give up. And the author, this Mr. Leonard, he identifies 3 personality types that are unable to complete the mastery journey. And we have all these personality types inside of us, and in one area we can be this guy, in another area we can be another guy, and in the third area we can actually have a mastery learning type. So I recognized when I was younger, I used to play chess, and I also studied guitar. I'm a classic, what the author calls a hacker. A hacker is a person who experiences the first learning spurt while things are still easy, understands that it's not going to be that easy, and then he hits the wall, the small lapse, and then you're supposed to go into the plateau, practice really hard in order to get to the next learning spurt. But a hacker, like I was, doesn't work in order to get to the next learning spurt. He just enjoys the plateau of playing around, never learning a new skill. So if he can master a few simple chords, or in chess, I used to love playing chess just for fun. But the minute that I had to start learning theories and openings and defensive moves, I didn't want to do that because it was too difficult for me. And obviously if I had done that, I would have experienced more learning spurts, but it would have taken a lot of time to practice. Who wants that? I just wanted to play and have fun. That's why I stayed a very average player, having fun, which is nice. But then I saw people next to me started at the same level, but they were on the mastery curve. So they were practicing, they were getting much better, they were kicking my ass when we were playing. So at the end of the day, I just quit. That's what happens when you're a hacker. Now, why is this correlated so mystically with what I started today? So this system called Total Immersion teaches you how to swim freestyle in an effortless manner. That's how they advertise it, and it's a very big fad, and it also makes sense. But I know that this is going to be a very positive, a very humbling experience, because I'm going to experience a lot of failure and a lot of difficulties already today in the first lesson, a lot of corrections, and you can see how the thought process needs to start working until you attain the muscle memory, until you achieve muscle memory. It's going to take some time, it's going to take a lot of practice, there's going to be a lot of disappointment. But when you set your expectations ahead of time, when you come with the right mental attitude, which is, as you know, is the key, I believe, to any successful adventure you're going through in life. So I prepared myself mentally. Reading this book at the same time is just such a great coincidence, because now I know it's going to take time. I'm going to have learning spurts, which I'm going to enjoy myself, and then there's going to be lapses, and then there's going to be a lot of plateau where I have to practice really hard in order to reach the next learning spurt. It's not going to happen as fast as I want it, and I'm not going to be as great as I want as fast or as in a speedy manner. But what I do know, I'm not going to hack it. This is going to be done in a mastery way. Complete the entire training, which is 10 meetings, continue practicing all the time, and achieve what I want to achieve, because this goal is right now burning inside of me, to become a very proficient freestyle swimmer. And that is committing yourself to the mastery curve through setting expectations and understanding what it takes in order to acquire a new skill, a new habit, new ability. And this is what all of us need to do whenever we start something new, and identify our previous failures, which personality type we are. There's a hacker, there's the obsessive, there's the dabbler. We need to understand which one failed us in the past and overcome that failure, set our mind to success, and just commit to the plateau, commit to the practice, and know that this will achieve the skill that we want to achieve.